Episode 334. Today we're talking about NHL Network and their top 25 prospect rankings from yesterday. And watch the show a little bit. Obviously, some intriguing numbers on there. A lot of forwards and D, and they actually had only one goalie on that list, and that was Jacob Fowler, and he was ranked at 24. We'll just get going into the list, and I'm thinking about just going down the whole thing, just kind of briefly going over everything. So Brady Martin was at 25 and fifth overall pick of Nashville from this past year. What I like about this is Brady Martin just fits Nashville. Relentlessly competitive, high skill, elite shot. There's a ton of potential for him to evolve into one of the CHL's best players next year. And I think we're going to really see him evolve into something different next year, too. So we might see him hit upwards of 50, maybe even 60 goals in the OHL. I wouldn't be surprised with the type of shot he has. I just think that there's a lot of elements in his game that are going to allow him to translate to the upper levels a little effectively. 24, Jacob Fowler, and obviously Montreal Canadiens prospect signed with Laval Rocket and got some games in briefly towards the end of the season. We don't know if he's going to be in the AHL. We don't know if he's going to be in NHL yet. I would imagine he's going to start off in the AHL, work his way up, and then eventually climb his way to the NHL as more of a backup, and then hopefully turns into an eventual starter long term. But I think the thing is with Fowler, and they mentioned it on the broadcast, is he's won at every level. He's been an elite goalie at every level. I think that's a situation where you look at the translatable qualities that he's brought, not only in terms of numbers, but style of play to every level. And this is a goalie that certainly can make some waves in the long term as well. 23, Caden Lindstrom, who is now with Michigan State, and we obviously saw him make the jump from the WHL over to the NCAA. It's gonna be really intriguing to watch him play and have that full season's worth of development after coming off injury. Just a big power center who can play the game really effectively, kind of like a pure Luc Dubois in some ways. And just he's relentlessly competitive, plays a two-way game, can make plays, but also score goals. He has really nifty hands and tight, and that's going to allow him to get off the wall at higher levels too. He's going to be a fun player to watch. Cole Hudson at 22 of the Washington Capitals, second round pick, just like his brother Lane. It's gonna be interesting to follow the trajectory of Cole as well. And we've seen what Lane has become. But I think Cole also has the ability to become something special too and bring some deceptive qualities within his skating, his puck movement, and his transition play that make him a threat at carrying the puck in the offensive zone on entries. And Cole's a guy you can rely upon in key situations too. You can rely upon him as a shutdown guy. I think when you think of Lane and you also think of Cole, you think a little more offense out of those two. But as they've gotten older, they've both become more well-rounded. Cole especially as well, and I think we're going to see him evolve into something more special in that second year in BU, and likely will sign with the Capitals after the end of next season with BU. 21 is Axel Sandin-Pellikka. Really like this pick and just very effective overall. Got some games in with Grand Rapids as well. And I just really like this style of player. I think he's going to be a top 4D for a long time. Just a very translatable shutdown defenseman who can play really, really stingy defense. And I really like the stick positioning that he brings, but also the body position so he can stay square to guys defensively. And offense, I'm not sure where he's going to be, honestly, quite yet. But there's a lot of puck movement qualities. There's power play potential. There's a lot of potential for him to evolve into something more special long term. Dalibor Dvorsky at 20, first round pick of the St. Louis Blues a couple years prior in 2023. A high motor, relentlessly competitive, made his NHL debut this past year. I think we've seen what he could be in the AHL. Now it's time to see what he could do in the NHL. And there's a lot more upside there for him. But just high speed, brings an all-around game. Not super flashy in all aspects of the game. You could argue one-on-one he's a little flashier, but just an all-around competitor. Isaac Howard at number 19, now of the Edmonton Oilers, recently won the Hobey Baker, and a little bit of a surprise there, but got traded from Tampa over to Edmonton. Now he's going to be a player that should potentially slot into the lineup this year full time with Edmonton. I would imagine he can be more of a middle six guy right off the bat. especially given that they moved a lot of their older counterparts out Edmonton via free agency and salary cap issues. I think this gives Howard the perfect opportunity to slot in and potentially make an impact. And just a player who's very fun to watch. He's a winner at every level. He's won the Hobie Baker, obviously, like I just mentioned. And I think there's a lot more elements to his game that we could see evolve offensively at the NHL level as well. Gabe Perreault at 18 and of the New York Rangers and made his NHL debut as well. Signed his entry level deal in, I believe it was March, late March, and has become he has the potential to become a really impactful player. The only questionable quality within his game is obviously his skating. I think not a big deal given that he has high hockey sense, he has high degree puck skill, high degree of offensive flair. There's a lot to like there. So Gabe Perreault is a guy who's you're gonna watch him potentially for a very long time if he can develop the right amount of upside. Alexander Nikishin at 17 of the Carolina Hurricanes. We saw him make his AHL debut in the playoffs. He's one of their most effective D right off the bat. I think this is a guy who can be an impactful top four, if not maybe even a top two defenseman in the league as a shutdown guy. Just made a really sound impact coming over from the KHL. Looked like he fit right away with the Hurricanes and was just a great, well-rounded fit for them. Artie Levchinov at 16 of the Chicago Blackhawks. I got to be honest, and just watching more of Artie, I don't know what he's going to be. I really don't know. I don't necessarily see him becoming a top end defenseman in the league. I haven't seen that flash in his game and him really be able to take over games quite yet. I still like him as a player. He's interesting to follow, unique to watch. I just question what he's going to be long term. And I've watched more of him than I have other prospects on this list. I don't know. It's just a questionable thing. I know he's still young. He's only 19, but at some point you just want to see him take that massive next step, especially given that he was a second overall pick. So, but with Levchinov, certainly a ton of potential, a lot more potential for him long term. We just might see him blossom a little bit later compared to his peers. 15, James Higgins of the Boston Bruins, recent draft pick of them, seventh overall. I love James Higgins. Just plain and simple. He's going to translate to the league. He's got a translatable style of game. He's an impact player at every level. He's brings translatable skills in tight. Like he can attack through the triangle of opponents. He's really nifty and creative and deceptive with the puck on his stick. He can play with the puck at a high tempo. He can transition the puck at a high tempo. I think there's a lot of offensive elements that are going to translate really nicely to the NHL for Hagens and with Boston as well. 14, Porter Martone with the Philadelphia Flyers, and he's now with Michigan State in the NCAA. He's a guy that's very reminiscent of Matthew Tkachuk. I think long term we're going to see him evolve even more. He's an exciting player to watch. He's going to turn into a Philadelphia style player. He's very feisty, very competitive. He's in your face. He's a winner. He has so many different elements that are key for this Flyers team long term as well. Caleb Denoye at 13 of the Utah Mammoth, fourth overall pick. I think this is a really nice pick by Utah. He's going to fit in really nicely. And we might even see him, honestly, slot in at around 19, maybe even 20 years old in the NHL full time. I wouldn't be surprised because he's a competitor. He just has a drive to get better. He brings so many translatable components to the game. He has an all-around game, super feisty, super competitive, brings a really stingy two-way game and really aware positionally as a centerman at both ends of the rink, and that's going to really allow him to translate effectively as well. Anton Frundell at number 12 of the Chicago Blackhawks, third overall pick. Potential to be an impact, I would say, full-time second line center, maybe an impact and fringe first line center. I don't know what he's going to be quite yet. But there's an all-around game to him. There's positional instincts to him. Very strong for his age, so he's hard to knock off the puck, and he brings that power forward like presence, even as a centerman, which is really impressive to see. I think there's certainly a lot of potential for his game if he can hit his ceiling. And I honestly don't even know what his ceiling is quite yet either, right? I don't think this is something where you can put a ceiling on him quite yet. If he was playing junior in Sweden, maybe it'd be a little different, but because he had 25 points in 29 games in the Allsvenskan last year. That's intriguing. Those are intriguing numbers. Those are very intriguing numbers. So I wouldn't put a ceiling on him yet. I certainly think there's at least potential for him to evolve into a top line center over the course of time. Number 11 is Sam Dickinson of the San Jose Sharks, and just a very impressive year. 90 over 90 points last year in the CHL. Fantastic all around defensive game, but he really added elements to his offense last year. So he was impressive to watch. Number 10, Jimmy Snuggerud of the St. Louis Blues. We saw Snuggerud. He dominated the last few years at Minnesota. Comes in the NHL, fit in right away too. I think he looked great in those games that he played for the Blues and coming into the Stanley Cup playoffs and playing against Winnipeg too. I think he looked really good there. There's a lot more potential for him long term as well. He's a high volume shooter, very high volume shooter, but he can score too. He can pick his pockets really effectively on a goalie. So having that component is going to be key for him in the NHL. Number 9, Sam Rinsell of the Chicago Blackhawks, a personal favorite of mine ever since he came into the league. And I remember watching his NHL debut because I was there in person for it against Utah. This was He was arguably dynamic with the puck and arguably their best defenseman in that game. It was impressive to watch. He was so good. He's got so much upside. I honestly think there is legitimate top pairing upside with Rinzel. He's he's turned into such a good player and has just ramped it up in terms of his development over the course of the last few years. So he's been awesome to watch, very exciting to watch, and I'm excited to see how he does this year. And likely will play full time with Chicago this year as well. Berkeley Catton at number 8 with the Seattle Kraken, just a very skilled, uber competitive, plays with a ton of tempo, very nifty puck skills. I really like his game as well, Berkeley. And I just wonder what he's going to be. Will he be a center? Will he be a wing? He has a style of play that can translate to center at the next level, and he's played center for a very long time. I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle tries him on the wing at some point in the NHL, but there's top six potential in his game and certainly can make an impact long term. Back at Seneca at number 7 with the Anaheim Ducks, obviously that surprise pick in 2024, third overall. And he was really good last year, really good. 86 points, 56 games. Did a really good job in the playoffs as well, and has made an impact ever since it's with him though, it's tough to judge his development more than other players because he's obviously grown a lot and now he's still trying to adapt to his size. He's still a point producing guy. I think we're gonna see the biggest impact of his development when he gets to the AHL. And we'll really see him evolve and take a next step potentially. I just don't know what he could be right now in the AHL. He could be a guy who you wouldn't be surprised me if he would be end up on the first line in San Diego with the goals next year. It also wouldn't surprise me if he ended up on the third line. I don't know what he's going to be quite yet. He's a player I've tried to project, but I've had a tough time projecting, especially given that he was a third overall pick. But I do think there's a lot of legitimate potential within his game. Number 6, Zane Prek of the Calgary Flames. This guy is going to be great for them. And I think, quite honestly, he can make the Flames and be on the roster full time and without going down to the Wranglers for the whole year. I think that's a little bit of a hot take, but I wouldn't be surprised. The way he played against LA and after signing and making his NHL debut, I hope that style translates into what he's going to do next year because if he's able to do that, he's going to be on the NHL team full time. He looked so good in that game, so composed. He looked like he'd been in the league 10 years just playing in that game. It was just unbelievable. And he was making so many quality plays with the puck, and it was awesome to watch. But he's got a Mohawk style of skating that's unique. He's got puck skill elements in terms of how he breaks out, how he uses the weak side to pass, how he's able to keep his head up when he's stick handling. He's got that nifty element with the puck and keeps that puck. It's almost like a magnet to his stick. It's rare, but it's unique to his game. Number 5, Ryan Leonard of the Washington Capitals. I think this one's kind of self-explanatory. just fit in. Every level he's been on, he's won as well. Looked really good at VC. Looked really good coming in the Stanley Cup playoffs and playing Montreal. I mean, there's really not much else to explain with him. He's going to be a good player, very good player long term. Z William with the Minnesota Wild at number 4. This one was an interesting one. I kind of expected Leonard to be higher than him, but William, I liked his game, and he made his NHL debut in the playoffs against Vegas, and I thought he fit in. I thought he looked good. He looked sound positionally. He looked sound in the offensive end, and he's reliable too. I think that was the biggest thing. Playing a team like Vegas in your first game is not easy, let alone an away game. So he fit in, he gelled really nicely. And again, he's one of those guys right now. I don't have an he's not the easiest guy for me right now to project. I don't know what he's going to be right away. I don't know if he's going to be an impact guy right away. I don't know. I think he has that potential to be an impact guy right out of the gate, but it just depends on how long it'll take for him. But he has that two-way potential, he has that all-around game potential, and has that offensive flair as well. Michael Misa at number 3. Really like this player. Was hoping he would slip to Chicago at 3. Obviously, it didn't end up happening. It didn't surprise me. But with Misa, he's a center, but he could also play wing. He's played more center in the OHL though. And he brings an all-around impact offensive game, has turned into an all-around player in the OHL as well. A lot to like with his game offensively. It's 62 goals last year, which is insane. He was almost goal per game. You take away all his points and just keep the goals, he would have 62 points in 65 games, which is insane. So, let alone for his 17/18-year-old. So, he was excellent. He was fun to watch. And obviously, ever since being granted exceptional status in the NHL, he's just continued to take steps forward in his game. So, he's been awesome to watch, very exciting to watch, and certainly a player that San Jose is going to rely upon for a very long time in their system. Ivan Demidov at number 2 from the Montreal Canadiens, and this is a guy I'm very excited to watch this year. I believe he's going to be full time in the Canadiens, has the ability to make a full time impact, similar to what Matvei Michkov made in his rookie year. I think Demidov has that same ability and same potential to be able to evolve in that style of player, just maybe with a little more flashiness and a little more polished skating. But I think he has the potential to bring what Michkov did to the Flyers. And the Montreal Canadiens are going to be a very exciting team to watch as well. So very, very unsurprising that Demidov is this high. And then number 1, who else but Matthew Schaefer of the New York Islanders, number 1 overall pick. And he's an interesting one because I believe he has the potential to be a star defenseman with the Islanders long term. I'm curious to see what he's going to be in his rookie year, especially as a defenseman. We don't usually see D go first overall, but the thing is, he doesn't need to bring anything else to the OHL. He's already good enough. He's already talented enough. So I think he's going to take that next step, make that massive jump. But I don't think it's going to necessarily be super massive. He's going to make mistakes early on in the year too. But I'm just curious what he's going to be in terms of point projection, analytics, what he's going to be. I think this is going to be a very interesting case study to follow throughout the year with Matthew Schaefer and the Islanders. But tons of potential with his game. Obviously, he's a very, very talented two-way defenseman, very competitive at both ends of the rink, and he's going to bring more translatable qualities within his offensive game, and he's going to find more deception within that offensive game over time as well.